So I was talking to a friend about the necklace situation as recently as yesterday. So I do have a lot of thoughts about it, and I really think that it's still in play. I do not think that Gwyn will ever wear this necklace. And if I remember correctly, I feel like Gwynreals don't want her to wear this necklace because I feel like the necklace is colloquially, I cannot pronounce that word to save my life, colloquially referred to as the Elriel necklace. The necklace is referred to in the bonus chapter, but then when you go back to the main book, you're right. Nesta does specifically note that Gwyn is not wearing a necklace. She's not wearing jewelry. So if you read the bonus chapter, you would immediately make the connection. Gwyn doesn't have this necklace. It could be she doesn't have this necklace yet, but I don't think she's going to get the necklace at all. Like, as much as it would be a nice gesture for Asriel to give Gwyneth something cute, like, because he valued, the conversation that they had that day or whatever. But at the end of the day, the necklace wasn't really made with Gwyn in mind. And honestly, it would be shitty if he gave it to her and he pretended like it wasn't a secondhand gift that another girl rejected. So I think even if Gwynreal is endgame, Gwyn is not getting this necklace. Like the necklace is kind of like what the book was to Nessian in A Court of Frost and Starlight. Like it's like, oh no, like it's a symbol that things are decompensating between the main couple of the next book. And Asriel doesn't physically hand it to Gwyn. He doesn't even tell Clotho, this is for Gwyneth. He says, give it to Gwyn, give it to literally who the fuck ever. I do not care. I just don't want this necklace. I'm not taking it with me when I leave. And Clotho goes, okay, fine. Like, I'll hang on to it. I'll give it to Gwyn. She'll love it. But Clotho's not stupid. She wasn't born yesterday. She knows Asriel reasonably well at this point. She might not know his, personality and, his inner life because Asriel is very cloak and dagger about that, even with his closest friends. But as much as it's said that Asriel is very stoic and you can't really read his emotions on his face or whatever, I feel like for someone who knows him very well and who's someone who has been around him for a long time, he probably isn't very subtle at all. So when Clotho is talking to Asriel and she can see how fucking broken up he is, she knows that whatever this necklace was, it wasn't meant for Gwyn. It was meant for somebody else. So I really do think that Clotho is hanging on to it. This necklace is still in the wild. It's still in play. And I think over the course of the next books, either the necklace is going to become not as relevant, or Clotho or some other person or force in the universe, that necklace will eventually find its way back to Elaine. Because again, even the Gwynreals call it the Elriel necklace. But then I also feel like this necklace debacle is kind of a fandom-created distraction. The necklace debacle essentially places the love triangle with the apex on Asriel, and then he has to choose between two women. And not only is that thematically just not right, it's also kind of basic and a little weak and mid. You want these two glorious, wonderful, strong female characters who have on page canonically been girls. You want them to fight or otherwise be in conflict over a man? Why? There is no scenario where I want to see a love triangle in ACOTAR that is centered on a man. Absolutely not. This ain't the CW. I want to see these two work together because I actually feel like with Gwyn and her potential lightsabers, I keep calling them lightsabers. I don't know why. Gwyn and her light singer thing and Elaine with her seer thing, if Gwyneth is in fact a light singer, she would kind of be on a similar path as Elaine, where there aren't that many people with this kind of power inside of them. So she and Elaine would kind of be on similar magical journeys. I want to see them become allies. I want to see Gwyn actually kind of be the bridge between Elaine and Nesta, because again, this is a story about three sisters. And I feel like this would continue a pattern with the Archeron sisters and their girlfriends that I haven't really heard anybody talk about. There's definitely been a lot of discourse about how the Archeron sisters have their love interest Illyrian, and then they have their bestie Illyrian. For Feyre, she has Rhysand, but then she also has Cassian. And then Nesta has Cassian, but then she also has Asriel. So it would stand to reason that Elaine would have Asriel, but then also have Rhysand. But also, oh God, Rhysand sucks. Elaine, do better. But that's not the point that I'm talking about right now. So Farrah has two besties, Mor and Amren. Whether they're good besties or not is not the conversation we're having today. They're not, but again, tabling that. Farrah's bestie Amren is instrumental in Nesta's journey. She is helping her initially with her powers. Akasif starts with Nesta and Amren fighting. Like, Amren was a friend to Nesta in her own right, even if Farrah is her bestie. Considering the emphasis on Gwyn, that I do think is a thing that some people are picking up on, maybe that's not a thing where Gwyn is a contender for Azriel's heart, which again, I don't think she is. I think Bryce is more of a contender than she is. But she could be Nesta's girl bestie who serves in the same position that Amren does for Elaine. She's like the bridge bestie. She's that bestie who kind of bridges the gap between two social groups. The way that Amren was for Farrah and Nesta, even if she did a worse job at it. Not only do I think that that would be really beautiful and much better than the love triangle that the Gwyn reels seem to want, I think that would also help continue to repair the relationship between Elaine and Nesta, which isn't perfect at the time of the end of Akasif, but it's definitely better than it was. And Elaine is in a similar position with Nesta and Farrah that Nesta was with Elaine and Farrah before. Like, Elaine is kind of like the odd man out. She's the only one who hasn't like embraced her mated life or whatever. I think that this would just be a boss-ass friendship, and I just don't want a necklace to be the reason why we don't get to see this boss-ass friendship develop. If, in fact, we do get to see it develop at all, because according to Sarah, it's not that deep. I'm still so angry about that.